Okay, doing an inspection here today. Um, this is our first video coming to you. Just two hives here. Both of these are having trouble at the moment. This one's had a queen, but she wasn't laying eggs, and that went on for several weeks. So I donated a few frames of eggs from this one over the course of 2 or 3 weeks, and they made several new queens, 4 or 5. And finally, within the last week, it's down to just one queen. I haven't seen her laying yet. Their population is dwindling, so hopefully she's doing some work finally. We're going to get in here and check it out. And I can't really donate any more frames from this one because the queen in that one died because I think she got smushed when someone dropped a frame during an inspection a few weeks ago. So there is a new queen in there, a caged queen. She might be out now. We're going to find that out. So this one really needs to get going, especially because it's becoming mid-August and they're running out of time. So I'm not going to spend a lot of time in this top box. I'm just going to check a couple of frames that I know has had brood in it and see if there are any eggs. And I'll pop that box over there and we'll check the lower one. I'll probably find her. I've seen her a few times, and hopefully we'll see some eggs, but I don't know. It might be too soon still. So this is one of the frames that there's been brood on before. I thought I'd check this one for eggs. I'm not really expecting her to have been up here. Actually, these look like they're full of nectar anyway. We do have a bunch of young bees roaming around in here, so there's still been some frames of recently hatched brood. Trying to prop this one up while the new queen gets things going. Nothing there yet. I'll check another one. It's also really hot today, so I'm going to kind of try and move fast. Nope, this one has just a lot of nectar in it, so no eggs there. The rest of these are full of honey or nectar, so there's not much point in looking those. We'll just move right to the lower box. Here we have a bee fanning. You can see that it's hot. She's trying to do her job and cool things down. I don't know how well that's really going to work today, though. I don't generally have to do too much smoking with these ones. They've always been very calm. I'm going to skip that first frame. It's all honey. This one feels like it's all honey too. It's good and heavy. There's a bunch of cells formerly used for brood, but looks like they're just storing honey in it now. I don't really expect her to have been over here. Nothing interesting going on there, just honey. All right, this one's nice and light, so I would expect to find something in here if she were laying eggs, but I don't see any yet. At this rate, I don't know that this one's going to make it this year if they don't get down to business soon. Very soon. That's just a guess, though. I'm new at this. Nothing there. Not a whole lot going here, just a lot of bee bread, no eggs, lots of drones, some nice capped honey that, if they do manage to make it, they'll need that for the winter. Still no eggs. A couple of capped drone cells still yet to hatch. And she's going to be around here somewhere. Maybe this frame, maybe the next frame. This one's got a lot going on. No eggs. Here's a queen cell that something is hatched out of. You can see the end is chewed open. That might have been one of the one. I did an inspection probably 2 or 3 weeks ago. Look, there's a worker emerging right there. I did an inspection 2 or 3 weeks ago, and there was, I don't know, 5 or 6 queens crawling around here. The first one I saw, I was like, oh cool, there's the queen, and then I kept seeing them over and over again before I realized that they were all different. So I was happy to see that they had gone through and made themselves a new queen. Lots of bee bread. So, you know, eventually when they do have eggs to feed, they'll have lots of food for them. You sweating enough yet?
Oh, it's hot.
Sure, this stuff all helps, right? Alright, where is she? Gotta be around here somewhere. Maybe on the next two? I don't know, maybe she was up in the medium. I didn't think so. No, we'll keep looking. Now I'll have to go back through and find her. Because if she's not here, I'm going to have to figure out something very quick, because these ones are not doing so good. I just saw her a couple days ago, so I know she's in here. Was in here. Still no eggs. Alright, where the heck is she? She's not really going to be on these outer frames with all the bread because there's no place for her to lay eggs. So in general, she's not going to be over this far. So I either missed her or she's up in the other box, which I would be quite surprised if that were the case. Just going to go back through real quick and see if I can find her. Because if I don't, I think these two need to get combined. I don't know if there's enough time or not. I don't have time to go get another queen. So that's part of the trouble. No eggs anywhere. I'm not really sure what she's waiting for. is the part where I don't have much to say, so I'm just looking. Yep. Sure. And who knows if it actually records, you know, like does it stop after 5 minutes? Or... I would sure like to find her. I don't know whether she's in here or not. It's not good. I just saw her the other day. She's around here. She was around here. Yeah, they just do not have any bees left. This should be like crazy busy. Sure, anything's possible, but it's not something they. I mean, it's not like she's gonna go hang out there. She's gonna be. Well, when I find her, I'll show you. She's just like the other one. She's kind of a golden color, but she's got a really long butt. Her abdomen is, you know, a good bit longer than the rest for egg laying purposes. And she usually stands out. She's generally easy to find because she looks a good bit different, and like the way the other bees move around her. So she's, you know, kind of easy to find. And sorry, I'll give her a lot of extra space. Well, not extra space, but queens only for mating at the beginning when they first emerge. They go out on mating flights. And once they're mated, not really. The next opportunity for them to leave would be if the colony is going to swarm. Queens don't feed themselves, so the workers do all the feeding of the queen, and in preparation for the swarm event, they will stop feeding her and she will slim down and be able to fly again. This is one frame I definitely would not expect to find her on. Was all honey. Quite a while back, when they were actually doing good, we cut part of it off to try the honey. That's why it looks like that. And they really haven't done much since. This was from May to June, this was a very strong hive, and then, I don't know, it just fell apart. I don't see her. So, possibility is she wasn't mated yet, and she's off becoming mated, although the groups I'm in Facebook, they're pretty good at picking out whether they're mated or not. And I posted some pictures, and the people that looked at her seemed to believe she was mated. So if she's in fact not mated, she could be out and about trying to make that happen. But we will check the top box just to be sure. And if she's not in there, I'm going to have to find her soon and figure out what comes next very soon, because this one is running out of time. So, yeah, try and check this one quick. She's not up in here either. Wonderful. Probably should have just picked up 2 while I was out there and been done with it. Great. Well, that's no good. So what I might end up having to do with this one is combine it with that. And from what I've seen, you take a couple of layers of newspaper, put it on top of whichever brood box, and then take the remaining boxes from this one, put it on top. The bees chew through the paper. That gives them the necessary time to orient to each other's scent, and then they'll be friendly with each other. All right, this one was doing very well, and then my partner we were doing the inspection, and my wife dropped a frame inside the hive. I'm not saying that's what did her in, but we really haven't seen her since. So we kind of think that's what happened. Up until then, that queen was laying eggs like crazy. She filled this entire thing in no time, and there's still a ton of bees because it's not that long ago that it happened. But this hive was dying out, and we got because there was a drone layer queen in there. She couldn't lay. She wasn't well mated, and the one that we replaced her with went wild. So this is a flow hive, as you can see. I know a lot of traditional beekeepers seem to dislike these things for various reasons. I just wanted to show you that without any special tricks, they're using it. And there is honey in there, plenty of it. Lots of honey. So we will definitely get some out of here before the end of the year. But bees have no problem using it. So I'm not going to do any looking in here really. I am using a queen excluder. Plus the queen was in a cage, so I don't really expect to find her up here anyway. That would be quite a feat if she somehow made it up here. All right, so just wanted to show you that despite being plastic, the bees will use them. And we just have 2 hives. We're not a commercial operation or anything, so yeah, I know they're expensive compared to traditional stuff, but not having to have an extractor, not having to go through the extraction process. I've seen plenty of videos. It's it's a big thing. It's a big thing to do. So being able to use the flow frames would be very nice for us. Just turn the dial, get the honey. Don't expect to find any brood up here, but they've been eating the honey out of here. This was entirely full of honey, and they started eating the honey out of here. I suspect because they weren't going out and collecting it because their queen was dead, so they were kind of languishing a little bit. I'm not sure if that's actually what happens or not, but because without the queen, there was reduced activity in the front of the hive too. They weren't seeming to fly around much. So I kind of associated that with their lack of having a queen. Without her, they didn't seem interested in collecting resources. Then yesterday, the second day that she's been in there in her cage, we popped her in there Friday. Today's Sunday. The hive was very busy, which I haven't seen for a little while. So I'm hoping that the smell of the new queen has got them going again. As you can see, lots of honey. There's some bee bread along the bottom there. These were jam-packed with honey up until recently. Every one of these was full. The box was very heavy. They say a full medium, 8 frames, weighs something like 60 pounds, and it weighed every bit. And then things went south. So expect to see too much interesting in here. Just I don't know if they've let the queen out yet or not, so I'm looking. Maybe she's up here, maybe she's not. I don't know, maybe she's still in her cage. If she's still in her cage, I'm going to release her. I know none of that means a whole lot to you, the cameraman, right now. Queens come in cages, little cages with a candy plug. And the amount of time it takes for the bees to eat away the candy plug gives them a necessary amount of time to acclimate to the new queen's scent, so that by the time they've chewed all that away and the queen crawls out of there, they don't try and kill her. Get. Well, no one will see you, right? What's that? Oh, the well, they've always been very calm. I did one of my inspections in just a veil, shorts, and a t-shirt. They generally don't even care that we're in here, so long as we don't smash any. Smash a few, they start getting upset. The very first, the first probably month of inspections, you know, I was like exceptionally careful, trying not to smash any, and it's really hard because they're kind of everywhere. And when a hive gets really busy, like this one was, and I mean it kind of still is. There's still quite a few bees here, but they've not hatched any out for probably 2 weeks. But there's so many bees that it's almost impossible not to just, when you push the frames together, there's bees everywhere, and you smush them between the frames. You accidentally smush them when you set them down in the box. It's really hard. It's hard not to kill a few, unfortunately. And there's one that got smushed in between frames. There's another one. You move the frames around and you try and get them out of there. It's not the easiest task in the world. Lots of honey. I don't really expect to find her up here. I don't know that I expect to find her anywhere beside her cage, but we will see. Still lots of honey in this one. This one should be well set up for the winter. And unless something changes quickly, I think I'm going to have to combine these two. And one of Ashley's friends has a few hives. You might be able to like beg a frame of eggs off of her or something. If I do manage to find a queen, could get a frame of eggs from her, we might be able to get them through, but I don't know. All right. Oh, it's still good and heavy. Smushed one here. That's also really hard when he puts the boxes down and there's bees everywhere. They end up climbing out as you're trying to put the boxes back together. And you smush a bee. Watch out. Watch out. Get. All right. Lots of bees holding on to each other in there. So I can't really flip this one over. Although I'll end up on the ground. But I want to get over to the other frames anyways, because that's where the new queen is. If she's still in her cage. They seemed excited to see her, so I kind of think they've... Yeah, it looks empty from here. So, I'm guessing she's already out. And hopefully, we checked this hive a few times to be sure there was no queen or newly emerged queens. The last thing you want to do is buy a new queen, put her in, and then have the bees kill her because there's already a queen in here that you missed. Definitely don't want to do that if we can avoid it. No eggs yet. However, it does take, from what I understand, it takes a few days for her to start laying once they've released her. Just trying to carefully check so I don't have to go back through this. Hoping to find her the first time through. Alright, let's check the cage, see what's what. Yep, she is out of there. I had a feeling they were going to get her out quick. So there's a bee giving you an example of coming out of the plug. That's what the little cage looks like. You just smush it into a frame and push them together. So she's in here, hopefully not stung to death and dragged out. That would be great, wouldn't it? 2 hives, no queens. I hear some chewing up here. So, I don't know what they're chewing on, or if something is being born. No eggs on this one. Oh, there are a lot of bees. See what I mean by this one's you know, still pretty well off. We'll just like to find her so I know she's in here. It's always nice to find her quickly and easily. She's a nice golden brown. No, nothing yet. So one of the things that's nice to see when you put the queen cage in, you can set it on top and a bunch of the bees will crawl up and they'll get on the cage, and you can tell if they're going to like her, at least from my perspective, pretty quick, because if they don't like her, they'll be trying to sting her. And if they do like her, they'll just be crawling all over the cage, fanning, uh, fanning out her scent, sharing it for the rest of the hive, and generally being calm. And they were quite calm, and they were all over her. I'm sure they were happy to see a queen, since they hadn't had one for a few weeks now. Again, no eggs here, no surprise. It's still early. You don't see her yet on this side. Lots of young fuzzy bees still, so this colony has lots of time to get things back in order. We should give her a name. This one is a Saskatraz queen, which they say has good tolerance to the cold. And are calm and produce lots of honey. And there is a supersedure cell that looks like it got chewed open at some point. Oh, where are you? Come on. This is what I really wanted to do, was spend tons of time looking for her, only to not find her. You're kind of in their flight path right there. So you're going to get a lot of that. Yeah, you're going to have a lot of dead air until I find her, I think. I'll feel a whole lot better about this whole exercise once I see her. I know that they, didn't kill her. And that she's actually crawling around in here somewhere, getting ready to do her thing. I don't know what she's looking for. Oh, this is great. Oh, there she is. Or no. That is a queen, but I don't believe that's the one we bought. Great. So they've probably killed her. Because there is a young one in here. It must not have been in here in the 2 times that I've been looking in here. And now I lost her. Did you see which way she went? So all that money wasted. I don't know where she went. Did you see which way she went? YouTube? Well, she's big. She's fuzzy. Crap. They are everywhere. I can't put my hands anywhere on this thing because it's stacked with bees. I don't know. I lost her. There's a queen bee on this frame. Somewhere. She was on the move. Guess I should have gotten there. Should have marked her, huh? Then I would have known. Dummy. This is one of those things that you have to learn the hard way. I don't know where she went. I saw her. I looked at something else and she was gone. She was moving quick though. Yeah, right up here. This is her. Where? This one. See her? That does not look like a mated queen to me because her abdomen is not swelled up. So, I'm no expert. Man, she's fast. I lost her all over again. So if that in fact is not the queen that I spent money on, and I don't know where I was going to say with that. Where'd she go? She's fast. Let me get one last look at her before I check the last frame. But she's quick. Your cameraman? Okay, neither. Flush her out. Right here. All right, I'm gonna look at the last frame. Whatever, there's a queen in here, so that's something anyway. Not really expecting to find another one because you don't get to have two for the most part. I'm not entirely sure that was the one in the cage or not. The last check we even did in the evening, I guess the queen mating flights happen in the mid to late afternoon. Something like 3 to 6 o'clock, I think I heard. So we had done the check pretty late in the day and didn't see any queens. Again, I don't know if that was the one from the cage or not because she's not marked. She looked kind of thin on the butt, but I'm no expert. But there are quite a lot of bees to look through. Just thinking, if I did find the second one, if that was in fact not her, I could like stash her in the other hive real quick and then they'd have something going. All right, we'll put these back together and that'll be it for now. These are the drones. Should anyone be watching this that hasn't done anything with bees before, these are the drones. They're big and goofy looking. They can't sting and they're loud when they fly because they're heavy. Think of a big helicopter with big blades with a heavy load. It's a lot of weight to carry around, so they're noisier. Oh boy. What's up? Next box. So for those of you not familiar with the flow hive, there's a slot in here. The cells are split in half. This was invented by two Australians, a father and son. Each of these cells, there's two halves to each cell, and each one of those halves lives on one of these sections up here that you can see. And so when you put the it's a big long flat key and you turn it 90 degrees, it shifts every other one of these up or down a half. And the wax that the bees fill in these center sections breaks from the cell shifting, and then all the honey drains down through those broken cells into this channel in here. And you put a tube in here, and then the honey all collects down in this bottom channel, comes out this, and then into your jar. And that's it. So this one, there's some in here, some over here that you can see. This is on the end. The end ones are usually the last ones to be filled. Depending on how this gets edited, you might see one of these with significantly more honey on it, but oh. Why isn't this going down? Look at the little fuzzy bee. Come here, little bee. Come here. Yeah, I know you don't want me bothering you. All right. So 2 hives, 1 queen. I'll have to check that one in a few days again. Maybe she's out and about getting her mating on. Let's hope, because otherwise that one's pretty well doomed by this point. I gotta paint these still. This one kind of exploded on us, so I didn't get it painted and prepared in time because it got big in a hurry. Once we got that Russian queen, the hybrid queen, to replace the bum queen, it went from practically dying out to too much for one brood box in like a week. I mean, she laid her eggs, and then those ones hatched, and so many of them hatched that this was so full. And I put this on there. The medium is supposed to be for them, for winter. So they'll fill it with their honey, and that'll be just theirs. And then this was ours. So they went from filling this to filling this with bees and honey. This took like a week, and like, you know, I got other stuff going on, so you know, I didn't get around to painting these. Had to throw it on there. Thank you. Maybe we'll see you again. Take care.